I never thought my life could change in a single night. One moment, I was just me, a regular guy, doing regular guy things. The next, everything I thought I knew about myself, my body, my identity, had shifted. And it all started with a single, seemingly innocent experiment. It was my girlfriend, of course. She had been hinting for weeks, teasing, suggesting that I try something new. "You'd look so cute," she said one evening, her eyes sparkling with mischief and excitement. "I just want to see you, different." I laughed it off. I thought it was a joke, a silly way to pass the time. I had no idea she was serious. The first step was simple, a little makeup. She sat me down at the vanity and gently applied foundation, concealer, and blush, her fingers brushing against my skin in a way that made me flush. I felt exposed, vulnerable, and a little ridiculous. But there was something intoxicating about watching myself change, the reflection in the mirror softening, my features taking on a new dimension. Then came the clothes. She pulled out skirts, dresses, tights, and blouses, holding them up to me as if I were a canvas. "Try this one," she said, slipping a silky dress over my head. My body felt foreign, awkward, constrained by the fabric that clung to my arms and chest. She guided me gently, adjusting the hem, brushing my hair, teaching me how to walk, how to move, how to inhabit this new form. I stumbled at first, heels clacked painfully against the floor, my posture stiff and unnatural. I laughed nervously, cheeks burning. "You look amazing," she said, smiling. But the thrill mixed with embarrassment, twisting in my stomach in a way I had never experienced before. I was seeing myself differently, and it was shocking. The mirror became my confessional. As she stepped back, I turned slowly, examining every inch of my reflection. My face seemed softer, my body unfamiliar, yet somehow, alive. I ran my hands along my hips, tracing the outline of the dress, marveling at the curve of my waist and the way my shoulders sloped differently. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. I spoke, testing my voice. Softened, hesitant, almost melodic, it sounded strange, almost alien. But the more I practiced, the more natural it became. The more I moved in the dress, the more I realized that this wasn't just about clothes or makeup. It was about transformation, about inhabiting a new identity and exploring something deep within myself I had never dared to touch. Over the next days, my life shifted in ways I hadn't anticipated. Each morning, I woke and examined my reflection with fascination and a trace of fear. My girlfriend encouraged me, helping me practice makeup, hairstyles, and posture. She pushed me gently, not cruelly, into exploring femininity, not as a joke, but as a journey of self-expression. At school, the first day I wore a skirt and blouse outside the house, panic gripped me. Each glance, each whisper, each curious stare sent my heart racing. I felt exposed, vulnerable, yet strangely alive. The techniques I had practiced in private, gentle gestures, soft voice, fluid movements, kept me upright. I could meet gazes, respond with a shy smile, and navigate attention without collapsing. Friends were stunned. Some laughed nervously, others whispered behind hands. But gradually, things changed. Compliments emerged, curiosity softened into fascination, and I began to discover a thrill in inhabiting this new persona. I could feel power in vulnerability, excitement in exposure, and strength in mastering attention. Shopping trips, walks in the park, even casual outings became exercises in confidence and poise. Each encounter taught me something new about posture, movement, and presence. Even strangers' compliments, "You look so pretty, you carry yourself so well," made a thrill ripple through me. I was learning, growing, and beginning to inhabit this identity with increasing comfort and pride. There were moments of fear and doubt. On one occasion, a classmate spotted me in full dress and froze. "Wait, is that really?" they whispered. My heart leapt. Panic surged. But I remembered everything I had practiced. Posture, tilt of the chin, gentle gestures. "Yes, just trying something new," I said, voice soft but steady. And in that moment, I realized I could handle exposure, scrutiny, even judgment. I had discovered resilience. The more I experimented, the more I understood a truth I hadn't anticipated. This transformation wasn't just about appearance. It was about discovering a side of myself that had been hidden, dormant, and unacknowledged. The girl I had become, or at least, was learning to inhabit, was not a joke, a trick, or a dare. She was a real, expressive, confident version of me that I had never known existed. By the time I fully embraced this new identity, everything had shifted. I was no longer simply playing a role. I could walk into a room, hold attention, respond to curiosity, and express myself with poise and confidence. The journey had begun as a playful experiment, but it had transformed into a profound exploration of identity, vulnerability, and self-discovery. Looking back, I realize now that the transformation wasn't just physical. It was emotional, psychological, and spiritual. I had been forced to confront my fears, embrace exposure, and navigate a world that suddenly seemed both terrifying and exhilarating. And through it all, I discovered resilience, empowerment, and an unexpected joy in self-expression. The girl in the mirror is still me. She's a part of me that was always there, waiting to be discovered. And thanks to a combination of trust, curiosity, and a bold leap into the unknown, I learned that transformation isn't just about appearance. It's about embracing every facet of who you are, finding strength in vulnerability, and stepping confidently into a version of yourself that you never thought possible. I started as a guy. Now, I am a girl too. And in that, I've found freedom, empowerment, and an entirely new way of experiencing the world. That evening, after everyone had left the room, I found myself alone with the dress and makeup my girlfriend had left on the vanity. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at them. My hands shook slightly as I reached for the soft, silky fabric. It felt foreign, delicate, almost intimate against my skin. The reality of what I was about to do hit me. I wasn't just playing dress-up. I was about to see myself, really see myself, as someone entirely different. I slipped into the dress, feeling it cling to my arms and chest. My reflection made me flinch. The person staring back was both me and not me. My jaw softened, my shoulders seemed narrower, my waist somehow more defined. I hesitated, fingers brushing the hem, heart pounding. Then came the makeup. Foundation first, blending carefully, covering imperfections, smoothing my skin. Blush followed, painting my cheeks with a delicate flush. My hands trembled as I applied mascara, the brush trembling slightly over my lashes. I whispered to myself, almost laughing nervously, "Who am I right now?" The mirror became my teacher. I experimented with expressions, tilts of the head, and gentle smiles. Each adjustment revealed something new, subtle power in softness, strength in poise, allure in vulnerability. I traced my fingers along my hips, marveling at the way the dress accentuated curves I had never noticed before. I practiced walking across the room in heels, wobbling at first, clutching the bedpost. Every step felt exaggerated, unnatural, yet there was a strange thrill in balancing, in mastering something so foreign. I tilted my chin, straightened my back, and tried again, this time smoother, more fluid. With each attempt, my confidence grew, tiny but undeniable. Then came the voice. I spoke softly, hesitantly, testing a higher pitch, a lighter tone. "Hello, this is me." My own words sounded strange, alien, yet somehow exciting. I repeated phrases, trying different inflections, softening consonants, letting my voice glide. With each attempt, the reflection in the mirror seemed to respond, to recognize something hidden beneath the surface. By the time I removed the dress and collapsed onto the bed, my heart was racing, cheeks flushed, and palms sweaty. I had discovered a new dimension of myself, a side that was curious, daring, and intoxicatingly vulnerable. What had started as a dare, a playful experiment, had revealed an entirely new part of my identity. In the following days, I began to test the boundaries more deliberately. Alone in my room, I tried different outfits, hairstyles, and makeup techniques. Each experiment taught me something about posture, gestures, and presence. I practiced walking with subtle sway, adjusting my voice, and exploring expressions that felt natural in this new persona. Even the smallest victories, crossing my legs gracefully, maintaining balance in heels, smiling convincingly at my reflection, brought exhilaration. The thrill wasn't just in looking different. It was in learning, mastering, and inhabiting this identity fully, even in private. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, fear began to shift into excitement. What had once felt embarrassing now held promise. What had once felt unnatural now held power. I realized that this transformation wasn't just skin deep. It was a journey into self-discovery, confidence, and unexpected empowerment. The next day, the reality of the outside world hit me like a wave. What had been private exploration in my room was about to collide with real life. My girlfriend stood beside me, grinning, holding a fresh outfit, a short, flowing skirt, a soft blouse, and a pair of heels that made my heart both race and sink. "Ready?" she asked, tilting her head. I swallowed hard, nodding, though my stomach twisted with anxiety. I had rehearsed in front of the mirror, practiced every step, every gesture. But this was different. This was public. This was real. Stepping out into the street, every sound seemed amplified. My heels clicked against the pavement, a steady rhythm that felt like a countdown. Heads turned immediately. Neighbors paused, kids whispered, and I could feel eyes burning into me from cars passing by. My chest tightened, hands clammy. For the first few steps, I wobbled, my balance uncertain. Jenna slipped her hand into mine, giving me a squeeze. "You look amazing. Just breathe and own it," she whispered. That simple reassurance grounded me. Step by step, wobble by wobble, I moved forward. I tilted my chin, squared my shoulders, and tried to embody the confidence I had only practiced in front of a mirror. By the time we reached the school gates, I felt like everyone was watching. Whispers, stares, and double takes filled the air. My classmates froze, pointed, and some laughed nervously. My face burned red, and my heart pounded in a chaotic rhythm. Then something shifted. A friend from another class leaned over and said softly, "Wow, you actually look really good." It wasn't teasing, it was genuine. My stomach flipped, but for the first time, a thrill of pride pierced through the embarrassment. I realized that I didn't just survive their scrutiny, I could even command attention, subtly, with poise and grace. Lunch was another challenge. Carrying my tray across the cafeteria, whispers followed me. "Is that him?" someone murmured. My first instinct was to flee, hide, disappear into a corner. But then I remembered my mirror practice, gentle movements, soft gestures, confident posture. I walked steadily, smiled politely, and sat down without looking back. The sense of empowerment was faint but undeniable. Over the next few days, I experimented more in public. Cafes, parks, stores, even a weekend outing with Jenna, became arenas for testing my confidence. Each compliment, each curious glance, each small victory reinforced the lessons I had learned in private: poise, presence, and subtle command over attention. The first real milestone came at a friend's party. Dressed in a teal dress with hair curled and makeup perfect, I felt my nerves spike as we entered. Conversations paused, eyes lingered, and I felt exposed like never before. But as I greeted friends, made small talk, and laughed gently, I realized I could navigate attention gracefully. I wasn't just surviving, it was thrilling to inhabit this persona publicly. By the end of the night, exhausted but exhilarated, I understood something profound. The transformation wasn't only external. Every step, every glance, every interaction had taught me resilience, adaptability, and empowerment. The girl I was becoming wasn't just an experiment. It was a side of me that thrived on confidence, self-expression, and curiosity. With every outing, my comfort grew. I could now manage stares, compliments, and even surprise recognition. When someone whispered, "Is that him?" I could meet their gaze, smile, and respond with calm poise. I discovered that public exposure didn't have to be terrifying, it could be exhilarating, a way to explore identity and control the narrative of who I was. By the time I returned home one evening, heels sore and cheeks flushed from attention, I looked at my reflection and smiled. This journey, born from a playful dare, had revealed a side of me I never knew existed, a side capable of confidence, poise, and empowerment.